What's up guys, it's Akamaro here and welcome to another Dark Souls 3 video. I know I said I wasn't doing any more Dark Souls 3 videos, but apparently I lied. I went back and watched my review and realized I never actually gave you what my favorite boss was. So here's my favorite boss and 4 bosses underneath it. Yes, this is my top 5 Dark Souls 3 boss video. If you didn't know that, well, it's in bright red letters in the middle of your screen. Also in the title, so there might be something wrong there. Regardless, I hope you enjoy. Kicking it off with number 5 on my list, we have Half-Light Spirit of the Church. Half-Light is one of my favorite bosses, obviously, in Dark Souls 3, for the simple fact that he is a PvP boss. It starts off with this guy literally calling you a fool, and sitting there looking eerie as hell. But he doesn't attack you unless you attack him first. On my stream I did not attack him, but these guys are evil and decided to go up and start punching him immediately. So of course I went along because of peer pressure. He is Judicator Argo and he doesn't really do anything. I don't know why he's there. I guess to add a reason for the summons. I don't really know. I don't really understand, but it's cool. I like it. I like bosses that actually have dialogue. There are very few in this game, surprisingly. But you can see me switching around a few of my items. But it summons first a Church Guardian, who I just backstabbed there. If you hurt him, it does not do damage to the boss, because that is not the boss. The boss is an actual summon from the new Covenant called Spirits of the Church. It summons you randomly into someone's world as the boss. You get increased health and damage. It's really nice, it's really fun. I've only had the chance to become the boss of the game about once or twice with the new Covenant. I can do a video on it if you want, but it's actually a lot of fun. Unless you end up in a situation like this guy is, where it ends up with like a 4v1, which is what's happening right now, because I got summoned into a gank. If you're wondering why I am even being summoned in all these bosses instead of using the footage from my stream, is because, well, PlayStation does not save your streams. YouTube does, but PlayStation does not. So I had to go through and get resummoned for every boss just for the footage for this video. But it was fun because these are all great bosses. It's just, this guy just rolls. It's a bit laggy, he rolls. It's still a good experience. He gets healed, but he heals very rarely. And the boss, Invader, he can't actually heal himself. So I guess it makes sense that the Church Guardian would heal him. But it's good. I don't know why they didn't put PvP boss in Dark Souls 2. I believe they didn't. I know they had the Demon Monk and Demon Souls and the Mirror Knight in Dark Souls 1 that functioned the same way as the Spirit of the Church does. And it's just a super fun thing. I think it would be better if it had to be a 1v1. I know it would be unfair to people that are bad at PvP. I guess it would be kind of unfair to them if they can't summon, because then they would never get past it because they keep on losing. But when it gets into a situation like this guy didn't really stand a chance. Like, there are people good enough at PvP to be able to take on 3 people, but it's difficult. I know I never could. 2, maybe 3, most likely not. So this guy was kind of screwed since the start with us ganking him. But I feel like that's really what's holding him back from like a number 3, number 2 spot, is just it's hard for the boss to actually get through this unless it's a 1v1. I did a 1v1 on my stream, and I actually won first time, if you want to watch that. But great boss overall. Good number 5, solid number 5. Good, probably the best PvP summon boss in any of the Soulsborne series. So, Half-Light Spirit of the Church, solid number 5. Let's go on to number 4. Number 4 is the Abyss Watchers, the first Lord of Cinder of Dark Souls 3 in the main story, a non-DLC boss. And there are quite a few reasons I love this boss. Number 1 is he is a nod to Artorias, the Abyss Walker. These are like the legacy of Artorias wannabes. They're pretty much in an endless cycle of killing each other, as you see. I love how it starts off with one attacking you, and then a second one spawns and starts attacking you, so it's a 2v1. And then it turns into kind of a 2v2 almost. As a third one spawns, except he's not on your team. He won't attack you, but he won't not attack you. He doesn't aggro you unless you hit him first, but he will hit you if you get in his way. You get through the first phase, and you get to the second phase. We are just completely destroying this boss, by the way. You get to his second phase, and he takes all the blood from the other Abyss Watchers and turns it to fire. I don't know when blood fire magic became a thing in the Soulsborne series, but I know Lady Maria from Bloodborne does the same thing. But we're really just destroying him in this. I kind of feel bad. I'm doing like 1,000 damage a hit, but his weapon is awesome with the ultra great sword, and maybe it's a normal great sword with a dagger that can parry in the left hand. Super cool look. Nod to Artorias. The Covenant leader is a giant wolf like Sif. Awesome. And I actually do end up trading. I end up dying, getting one shot right there, which is kind of unfortunate, but still killed it. That makes solid number 4, first Lord of Cinder, first challenge of Dark Souls 3, the Abyss Watcher. Number 3, we have the main boss, or the final boss of the main game, Soul of Cinder. Soul of Cinder is a great end to the series, unless you count the DLCs. He looks awesome. He's the cover art for the Dark Souls 3 game. He's also the profile picture for my channel. Awesome sword. He uses the Firelink sword, which you can actually get, which sadly sucks. Again, this is a gank battle. It's a bunch of us on him, so it makes this boss look much easier than he is. Not saying that he's overly hard, but the first thing I'd like to point out is the arena. The arena looks awesome. I don't know if you can really see it in this video, but you can kind of see it off in the distance. There's the Dark Sigil in the sky. I like all the swords showing just how many people the Soul of Cinder has killed in the past, as he is the one thing watching the first flame. Now, he switches between his forms, as he just switched into a sorcerer, and that's because he can switch between anybody that has ever linked the flame, which includes Dark Souls 1 people that linked the flame at the end of Dark Souls 1. That means you could be kind of playing against your Dark Souls 1 character, which is kind of cool, if you link the flame, of course. And I think you get some awesome endings. I know you get some awesome endings. I just had the Link the Flame ending on my stream, but there are a lot of different endings you get from this boss. And then once he hits his second phase, then the music changes into the Gwyn Lord of Cinder, the first Lord of Cinder boss fight from Dark Souls 1. He gets this similar moveset, and he gets the music from the final boss of Dark Souls 1, which is awesome. It's like, this game has a lot of nostalgia when it comes to bosses, like to throw back to Artorias with the Abyss Watchers. They had Artorias Nod with Gale. They have a lot of Artorias stuff in this game, by the way. But Soul of Cinder, he's just the Gwyn. The Gwyn is a great throwback, and I'm really glad they added that in there. I think it's awesome. He does like to spam lightning. I don't remember Gale doing that much, but hey, dude wants to spam lightning away. It's all good. They die all the same. Number 2, we have the Nameless King, the so-called hardest boss of the base game, which is not counting DLCs. The lore is, he is the firstborn child, the firstborn son of Gwyn, the Lord of Cinder, the very first Lord of Cinder. Now, the first phase, he is riding a giant drake, which is a hairy dragon. That's the simplest way to call it drake. And yes, this is the footage from my Sylvester Smith versus Nameless King. But, hey, if it lets me use it, I'm gonna use it. That's just one less boss battle I have to do. This boss is super awesome. Super awesome first phase with the drake. I really like the arena, how super foggy. I like how quick he is. The difficulty is awesome if it's your first time. I know we're making pretty much all the bosses look super easy here. Because of the mage that's doing over 1,000 damage a hit, which is insane. Second phase is super cool. That weapon, by the way, the Dragon Slayer Sword Spear, is one of my favorite weapons in the game. Shoots lightning everywhere, just like Gwyn, or I guess Gwyn didn't. What is up with people spamming lightning in this game? I don't know. But if you kill him, then number one, it's an achievement in itself. You beat the hardest boss in the base game, in most people's opinion anyways. Once you kill him, you get Ornstein the Dragon Slayer's armor and Ornstein the Dragon Slayer's spear, as well as a Titanite stone, or a Titanite slab, which is always a nice little bonus to get. Who wouldn't love free upgrade items? And one of the best bosses of Dark Souls 1's armor and spear. Get the point down, Nameless King. And my number one boss in Dark Souls 3, Sister Elfrida and Father Ariandel. And yes, it is Elfrida, apparently, not just Frida, as I have called her since I first saw her. I just found out a few days ago that it is Elfrida. I don't know where the L comes from, but I don't ask questions. Sister Elfrida and Father Ariandel is probably the boss I've had most trouble with in Dark Souls 3. She is so hard. They are so hard as a boss. And the only boss in Dark Souls 3 that has 3 phases. There's a lot of 2-phase bosses, but none that would ever give you a 3-phase. And, well, Frida does not believe in 2-phase boss fights because they are too easy, apparently. So throw in a 3rd phase. By the time you get to the 3rd phase, you will wish you were already dead. If you even lived to the 3rd phase. It's sad that the Ashes of Ariandel DLC was a bad DLC. It wasn't bad, and the only reason it wasn't bad was because of this boss fight. The DLC was maybe an hour, 2 hours long, tops, and the best part of it was by far this boss. It gave 2 bosses. The other one obviously did not make this list, and she makes a bad DLC great, or decent at that. The best part of a bad DLC, definitely. She has great cutscenes, which sadly I don't think you see. You might be able to see it. I don't know if this guy skips it or not. I don't remember. But if you want to see the cutscenes, yeah, he skips it. If you want to see the cutscenes, then you can go ahead and check out my stream where I actually watch them. Now here is the 2nd phase, where you have to fight Father Ariandel and Sister Frida at the same time. Frida will try to heal Ariandel, and unless you are constantly hitting her, as you can see right there, I just see her just in the nick of time to run over and hit her once to get her out of it. She has very, very low poise, actually. I think I get hit here somehow. Yeah, that was kind of a garbage AoE splash damage move, but I still got hit by it. And Ariandel, this is probably the easiest phase, actually. Her first phase, because she's just quick, maybe her first phase is the easiest. But this one is not hard at all, because you can just aggro Ariandel the entire time, and unless you're bad like I am, you should just be able to chill underneath him and hit him in the feet, and hope that Frida isn't spamming you with ice magic from all the way across the map, which tends to happen a lot. So you kill Ariandel or Frida. They have a shared health bar, so they can really attack either one. You attack them, and then Black Flame Frida starts getting back up, which, self-explanatory, she goes Black Flame Magic. As you can see, I'm putting on a Divine Blessing because I do not trust 2 Estus to actually get me through this final phase. And I'm glad I did put on the Divine Blessing, so I don't have to fight this boss twice, because, well, this boss infuriates me more than anything, and I'm glad I beat it first try when I got summoned for this video, so I didn't have to fight her like 30 times for one video. But she is super quick with the Black Flame magic, but definitely one of the best, one of my favorite fights. Super aggressive, she turns invisible like Priscilla, she uses a scythe like Priscilla. Maybe she's related to Priscilla. Could be. I don't know. I think the painter's related to Priscilla, but maybe they're sisters. Actually, apparently Frida in lore is related to Yuria of Wandor, but I'm getting off track. She doesn't really change from her first form, other than she likes to jump up in the air, slam down with Black Serpent, which is a pyromancy, and it's annoying. She also likes to use those very delayed scythe attacks. And there's an ice attack right there. She has very predictable combos, but very damaging as well. I do suggest a shield for this final part, as you see me throw it on now. That's really all I have to say about this amazing boss. I don't think I've really done any of these 5 bosses justice, but, I mean, that's all you can really say about them. There's not a lot I can say other than they're amazing. By far my top 5 best. Now, I'll let you just enjoy watching me get destroyed by Black Flame Frida, but eventually kill her. Spoilers. This has been my top 5 Dark Souls 3 bosses. If you enjoyed, leave a like, leave a comment telling me you enjoyed, or subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to tune in to my Adventures of Sylvia Smith if you want to see me play Bloodborne. I hope to see you then.